For millions of people around the world, the dream of living and working in the United States begins with a single question: where do I stand in the immigration line? The answer starts with understanding the Visa Bulletin, a document that can shape your future and the lives of your loved ones. The Visa Bulletin is a monthly update released by the U.S. Department of State. It determines your place in the green card line, and for many, it's the most important document to watch each month. Because the U.S. government only issues a limited number of green cards each year, the Visa Bulletin manages the queue, deciding who can move forward and who must wait. Your priority date, the day your petition was officially filed, marks your exact spot in this long line. It's a date you'll never forget, because it determines when you can take the next step. Each month, the bulletin lists cutoff dates for different visa categories and countries. These cutoff dates are like gates. If your priority date is before the gate, you can move forward. If your priority date is before the cutoff, you can finally take the next step in your journey. If not, you wait. Sometimes for months, sometimes for years, hoping for the bulletin to move. The movement of the bulletin, or its lack of movement, can mean the difference between reuniting with family or enduring more months of separation and uncertainty. For many, every update brings hope or disappointment. Sometimes, the bulletin moves backward, a process called retrogression. When this happens, even those who were close to the front of the line can find themselves pushed back, adding years to an already long process. Per-country caps mean that applicants from high-demand countries like India and China face much longer waits than others. These limits can stretch the wait time for some families to a decade or more. This creates separate, slower lines for those nationalities, making the Visa Bulletin even more crucial for tracking your progress and planning your future. The system is complex, filled with rules and exceptions, but the Bulletin is the key to knowing when your turn comes. It's the roadmap through a complicated process. For many, this isn't just paperwork. It's about making life-changing decisions, planning careers, and reuniting with family members after years apart. Every update can change the course of a family's future. Understanding your place in this line is the first step in navigating U.S. immigration. It's a journey of patience, hope, and resilience. And knowing how the system works can make all the difference. The September 2025 Visa Bulletin marks the final update of the fiscal year, serving as a crucial indicator of how many visas have been issued and what remains unused. This bulletin is closely watched by thousands of applicants, attorneys, and families, as it essentially signals the closing of the year's immigration opportunities. This month, all major employment-based categories saw no movement at all. Priority dates are frozen, just as they were in August. For those tracking their progress, this lack of change can be both disappointing and expected. This pause is not a surprise, it's a deliberate move. Agencies are extremely careful not to exceed the annual visa cap as the fiscal year draws to a close. Every slot is counted and every application is scrutinized to ensure compliance with strict quotas. If your priority date wasn't current in August, unfortunately it remains unchanged in September. The window for new movement is closed for now, leaving many applicants in a holding pattern. No new applicants in these categories can file for green cards until the new fiscal year begins. For many, this means more waiting, more uncertainty, and more planning for the next opportunity. For now, USCIS will only accept applications from those whose priority dates are already current. Everyone else must wait for the calendar to turn. For many, this is a frustrating but all too familiar end-of-year pause. The anticipation and anxiety build as the months pass with no forward movement. The static dates highlight the overwhelming demand and persistent backlogs, especially for applicants from high-demand countries. The system's limitations become most visible at this time of year. Now, all eyes turn to October 1st, when a new batch of visas becomes available, and the cycle begins again. Hopes are renewed, and strategies are adjusted for the year ahead. The September Bulletin closes one chapter and sets the stage for the next, reminding everyone that immigration is a journey marked by patience and perseverance. For applicants and their families, it's a time to reflect on the past year, regroup, and prepare for what's ahead, holding on to hope as they await the next opportunity. The September 2025 Visa Bulletin's final action dates are the gatekeepers for green card progress. These dates, broken down by employment category and country, determine who can move forward. If your priority date is before the listed cutoff, you're eligible. If not, you keep waiting. This month, all dates are frozen, no categories advanced. The freeze is a strategic move to avoid exceeding annual visa limits before September 30th. No new adjustment of status applications or visa interviews will be scheduled in September. The specific cutoff dates reveal the depth of the backlogs, especially for India and China. For many, it's another month of waiting, but the bulletin provides a clear snapshot of where things stand. Knowing these dates is essential for anyone navigating the U.S. immigration process. The EB-1 category, designed for top global talent, outstanding researchers, and multinational executives, is considered the fast lane of the U.S. green card process. For most countries, this means no wait at all. Applicants can move forward as soon as they're ready. But, for applicants from China, the story is different. The cutoff date is November 15, 2022, meaning even the most accomplished professionals face a significant wait before they can proceed. For India, the situation is even more challenging. The cutoff is February 15, 2022, translating to over 3 years of waiting, even for those at the very top of their fields. In the EB2 category, which is for professionals with advanced degrees or exceptional ability, most countries face a cutoff of September 1, 2023. This means a relatively short wait for many, but not for all. For China, the EB2 cutoff date is December 15, 2020, almost 5 years of waiting, a delay that can stall careers and disrupt families' plans. For Indian professionals, the wait is even more daunting. The EB2 cutoff is January 1, 2013, an astonishing 13-year backlog, leaving many in limbo for over a decade. These massive backlogs are driven by a combination of high demand and strict per-country limits, which cap the number of green cards available to each nation every year. For many Indian and Chinese professionals, the American dream is not denied, but delayed. Sometimes by years, sometimes by more than a decade. Even in the fastest categories, what used to be a quick process now stretches into multi-year waits for these countries, with no clear end in sight. The static September dates for most categories highlight the immense pressure points within the system, revealing just how overwhelmed it has become. Immigration advocates argue that the current system simply can't keep up with the global flow of talent, and that urgent reform is needed to address these growing backlogs. As the fiscal year draws to a close, these backlogs remain a stark and persistent challenge, affecting thousands of families and professionals. For now, for many, patience and hope are the only options as they wait for their chance at a new life in America. EB3, for skilled workers and professionals, has a cutoff of April 1, 2023 for most countries. The Philippines is at February 8, 2023. China's EB3 date is December 1, 2020, nearly 5 years of waiting. India's EB3 date is May 22, 2013, over 12 years in line. The other workers subcategory faces even longer waits, especially for China. In EB5, for investors, most of the world is current, no wait. But for China, the EB5 cutoff is December 8, 2015, almost a decade. India's EB5 date is November 15, 2019, a multi-year wait. Even those investing heavily in the US face long delays if they're from high-demand countries. These dates show that backlogs affect everyone, from skilled workers to investors. The path to a green card is long, and country of origin matters more than ever. For many, the wait is measured in years, not months. The September freeze is all about annual limits. Only 150,037 employment-based green cards can be issued this year. These are split among categories and capped by country. As the fiscal year ends, agencies stop advancing dates to avoid exceeding the cap. When a category's limit is reached, it becomes unavailable, no more visas until October. This is like a store running out of stock and putting up a sold-out sign. The pause is temporary. A new supply of visas arrives October 1st. For now, the system is in a holding pattern to maintain order and fairness. The annual reset is built into the process, not a sign of trouble. Applicants must wait, but the line will start moving again soon. The pause is a necessary step to keep the system running smoothly. The Visa Bulletin isn't the only thing changing. Other policy shifts are on the way. USCIS will raise premium processing fees in March 2026, making immigration more expensive. Some countries are seeing pauses in immigrant visa processing, causing delays and uncertainty. H-1B visa reforms are also in discussion, including a wage-based lottery and new rules for employers. These changes add complexity and unpredictability to the process. Staying informed and consulting experts is more important than ever. Immigration is a moving target. Be ready for surprises. With the September freeze, the big question is, what's next? The pause is normal at year's end. It's not about your case, but the overall visa supply. All eyes are on the October Bulletin, when a new batch of visas is released. Cutoff dates are expected to advance, opening doors for many in the backlog. But high demand means backlogs, especially for India and China, will persist. Be prepared, gather documents and consult an attorney so you're ready when your date becomes current. The end-of-year pause is a time for patience and preparation. The line will move again soon, and being ready can make all the difference. For now, stay informed and get ready for the next chapter.